You know, when I was young and I had the whole world in front of me, I was always envious of older people. You know, I was envious that they had better jobs, they had better salary, they could pick the type of jobs they wanted, they had better hours. So that's a dream I had. The reality of that dream, I found, ended up being a nightmare, because now that I am older, I found that dream is not true at all. In actual fact, I have less choice of jobs, if any. My salary is probably, well, was less than maybe a 25 would be earning, and I've had to do jobs that I normally wouldn't even look at. So as you can see now, I've got plenty of spare time, except cash. I don't have hardly any cash at all, so spending a lot of time walking my Belgian Shepherd. So here he is here. So I mainly got him as a companion dog. And to be honest, I think I'd go nuts if I didn't have a, you know, like a positive influence in my life at the moment. So let me explain a bit about my career choices. I'm a programmer by trade. So depending on what decade, you can call it a analyst programmer, software engineer, software developer, or whatever. As far as I'm concerned, they're mostly all the same thing. So I noticed once I started approaching the age of 50 that it was getting more and more difficult to get jobs, and I ended up, even back then, I had to lower my standards and start not even apply for senior jobs. I would just apply for regular jobs, and if I did get senior jobs, they were the type of jobs in areas that most people wouldn't even look at. So somewhere that's in a remote area that took a lot of travel, or the pay was actually really poor. So that's the type of jobs that I've been working for the last 15 years. In the last 3 years though, I haven't been able to get jobs in my specialisation at all, so I've actually had to really lower myself and do jobs like working in supermarkets and such. So I found even working for a company like that, you still have that problem with ageism. So I'm really tired of hearing all that bullshit where younger people find it hard to get work, because it's just not true. If you're a younger person and you're unemployed, you're not really trying, because the amount of people that the supermarket was hiring, younger people, and the amount of shift preferences they would give younger people is just mind-boggling compared to how they treated me. So there's a view of the city in the distance. Not sure if you can see it. So I live in Brisbane, Australia, in case you didn't pick that up by my accent. So the last straw for me was when my father died, which was 2019. Well, the end of 2018, which was just weeks before all this COVID stuff started. So I had a very empathic employer back then, and I'm being sarcastic in case you're not getting my drift. So they gave me a few days off. I actually ended up having to be executive at will. But when I came back, my performance was a bit lower than normal because I was quite stressed out having to do all that stuff. And they promptly got rid of me the very week that the COVID restrictions started. So you can imagine I had practically no chance of getting a job. So, and that's all, is what, 4 years ago now? More than 4 years. So I've had a couple of part-time jobs since then, but not enough to even pay the rent. Yeah, so things are crazy over here. House prices are skyrocketing, rent is skyrocketing, and yes, at my age, over 60 that is, in my mid-60s, I am still paying rent. That's another story. All I can say is to that in a one-word answer is child support. Yeah, so in the last 4 years or so, all I've managed is a job at the supermarket, and I can tell you now they treat people like shit there, especially older people. Basically my role working in the supermarket was just to relieve the teenagers who was sick, which was fairly often, at least once a week. So, but then again, I usually ended up getting about 10 hours a week, which isn't enough to live on. So I do have a part-time job, which is 5 hours a week, which is doing website maintenance. The pay rate is well below the going market price, because mainly these are jobs that people are not interested in, like little proprietary companies run by older people. The other job I had was also I did have a full-time job 2 years ago, working for a fire drills company who promised me a full-time job. Again, they paid me below market rate, but with the promise that they would give me a pay rise and give me full-time work. The reality of that job was they only employed me because they had a big backlog of work because the previous person couldn't catch up. So once I actually caught up on the workload, after about 3 months, I was promptly dismissed with some lame excuse that I sent the wrong email to somebody. So, which I did do. I did send a wrong email to somebody, but it was nothing confidential or important. It was just asking about an appointment. So, and I made that mistake because of the autocorrect feature in Outlook. The other two people had the same name, so it just went to the wrong company. So after that, I sort of thought, well, screw it. I'm going to get myself a companion dog rather than put up with all this crap. So now I really can't work except for work at home work. And I must say my dog is my life at the moment. If anyone's all like me and feeling like having some mental issues or struggling, get yourself a dog. They really are the best companions. Well, I guess that wraps it up. It sort of turned into a bit of a rant. I'm not sure what direction to take this channel. I'm not sure if I want to make it tricks and tips, or whether to just talk about my life experiences, or how I've overcome my situation, or what I'm doing to try and correct it. So please, you the viewer, let me know what sort of things that you're interested in, or you find this rings a bell with you, and I can keep making content. Thank you and have a good day.